Hi guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host Emily. Hope you are all good. So, straight into this episode because we are on a very small time scale. This is probably going to be a short episode, not like all them other times that I say this is going to be a short episode and then it ends up being dead long because I have got calls booked in with my clients and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to just do 4 things that I've told my clients this week to help you with fat loss that have helped them and also give you a quick update as well. So the last 2 episodes have been about my pregnancy and I know like people are interested in that, but also I just don't want everything to be about that for my sake and as well as yours. So so we're going to go back into the stuff that I'm here about and helping you guys with, which is like the fat loss stuff, which, you know, it is. I'm so glad I can talk about the pregnancy now because it is a little bit bizarre for me. Not because I'm always in fat loss, but, you know, a lot of the time I train for my physique. I'm training for a physique goal. Like maybe it's not an aesthetic goal, but it might be a strength goal. It might be a gymnastic goal. Like I love that, thrive off that, hopefully never lose that. And when you become pregnant and that gets ripped away from you, not bitter, but when you can't have them goals, aesthetic goals or like performance goals, it becomes, what is the word? Like not even like tricky. It just feels a little bit off that I'm still helping people do that, but I'm not living that, if that makes sense. So, it doesn't feel like I shouldn't be doing it. It just feels maybe not as enjoyable on my behalf because I thrive off that. And I feel like when I'm doing that, I give off like the good energy. Anyway, you'll have to let me know how the podcasts are going down as I'm getting pregnant and as I'm telling you the best fat loss hacks while I'm just growing. So little update for those who haven't listened for the last couple of episodes. Obviously I spoke about the pregnancy, my things I was feeling, stuff like that. I'm now relatively back to normal, which is great. So can eat the salads again. Training is so good at the moment. So I know I just said it's different, which it is, but what I am doing, I'm doing well. So I'm fucking buzzing about that. Like things like pull-ups, I'm now doing like seated pull-ups. I can still do body weight dips. They're clinging on in there. Still doing like 80 kg on the hack squat and stuff. So yeah, training's feeling really good. So that makes me feel in such a better mood. And I'm doing loads of walking. Obviously it's a bit lighter out. So yeah, everything just feels a little bit nicer. And so that's a little update with me and just feel a little bit more normal. So which is why, full circle, I want to come back and talk about the things that I'm good talking about. Before we get into point number 1, just a little bit of an update of the Mission Empowered live event that we had at the weekend. Oh my gosh, phenomenal. Shout out to everyone who came. I really went in with the intention of being like, let's just make it like the podcast, like how relaxed I am in my office at home, aka spare room, how relaxed I am here. Let's just make it like that on the day. And I really do think like it came across like that. It was just how I talk to you now, but in person. It was so much fun. And we did like some interactive stuff. So I spoke about the backgrounds of Empowered and the lessons that I've learned and why I feel like I am, what's the word? Not qualified. Oh, what's it called? Where you have like not well equipped. I did this on the day as well. But I've got the tools. Why I've got like the confidence and the competency to help you guys out with things that I talk about because I've basically been through it. So I spoke a little bit about the backstory. Then we spoke about empowered body, and then we spoke about empowered mind with some little things thrown in, especially about connecting with each other. It was amazing and it was all recorded. Yay! So in a couple of weeks' time, when I've got like the audio and stuff back, I am going to put it out and you guys can listen to it. But I will say, because it's like anything, isn't it? Watching it recording is just not as good as seeing it in person. I don't know why I just thought of like Michael Jackson and stuff. Because I used to love Michael Jackson. I used to watch the videos and then I got to go not see him in person, but the, what are they called, tribute things. And it was just the shit. It was amazing. Anyway, not comparing myself to Michael Jackson, lols, just saying, I don't know what it's going to be like when you listen back, but in person, it was amazing. Okay, so let's get into it then. Where are we? 15 minutes to go. Let's get going. First point I'm going to make then is about cardio. So all of these points that I'm making are things that I've said to my clients this week. I think I might have just said that. So hopefully that's why they're going to help you out. So the first thing I spoke about with one of my clients is cardio, and how we use cardio as a final piece of the tool when it comes to fat loss. So the fat loss pyramid that we should be focusing on is is calorie deficit. Then we look at quality of calories, so our protein, our fruits, our veggies, our fibre, our volume, okay? Then we've got our water, then we've got our sleep, our behaviour, making sure all that's in order, our step count. Then we want to look at our resistance workouts, because again, increasing muscle mass and muscle tone and feeling strong and having that empowerment is going to make us slightly increase our metabolic rate and longevity of life. So we add in resistance workouts. And once we're nailing our daily movement, our calorie deficit, our resistance workouts, that's when I then say, okay, put cardio in. Cardio is like the little sprinkle on top, because, and you're going to, hopefully some of us will have a mind-blowing thing, when you do cardio, in my opinion, as a coach and how I use it for my own personal experience, it does not contribute to your daily movement, aka your steps. So if you are trying to lose fat and you go on the treadmill for half an hour and you're combining that with your steps and your gym workout and saying like, oh, but I've trained today, actually for me, I would just say that was your daily movement and you haven't trained. How you use it for fat loss and as a tool is you take your watch off. So for me, whenever I do cardio that is purposeful for energy expenditure, the watch will come off. So if I go on the Stairmaster for 20 minutes, the cross trainer for 15 minutes, whatever I'm doing, the watch is off, because I still want to make sure I'm getting my 10k steps in. Does that make sense? I still want to make sure that I am like, okay, I might be doing 30 minutes cardio, which is great for my heart, my lungs, keeping my calories in order, calorie deficit in order, but I want to make sure that my daily output isn't dropping. Now, hopefully that is a bit of a eye-opener for fat loss. I am not dissing cardio for mental health gains, physical health gains, socialising, improving fitness levels, but none of that has got to do with how many steps you're doing then. Does that make sense? Because you're not doing it for output, you're doing it for other reasons. If you are doing cardio and you're on fat loss, take your watch off and make sure that you are doing your step count plus cardio, because the hierarchy, as we've just covered, of fat loss is your calorie deficit, your daily movement, your strength training, your behaviours, your habits, your sleep. Then you add your cardio in for a little bit of extra output. Okay? So yeah, rule of thumb when it comes to cardio for fat loss, watch should be off. And then your watch goes on, and then you do your step count again. Okay? If you use your watch to do like your heart rate, because honestly, you're not using your watch to count calories, it's not accurate. I don't care what the packaging says, it's not accurate. I don't care what anyone says who sells you, it's not accurate. It's not. Okay, we can only have clinical calorie burning data if we're measuring our oxygen levels under a clinical setting with a mask on and stuff, okay? Not by what your watch says, which is why my hero of a watch that was from Amazon 5 years ago is still working today, because it tells me the time and it tells me my steps, and that's all I needed to do. Woo, by the by. So yeah, watch off for cardio, okay? That is how you're going to increase your energy output. So if you're, doing, let's say you were doing 10k steps and eating food and doing a calorie deficit, and then you're like, oh, well, actually, I've started doing 5 boot camps a week. Why am I not losing weight? But you're still eating the same. You're leaving your watch on when you do your boot camps, so it's still contributing to your daily movement. Your output's still pretty much similar, okay? Because remember, when we're doing workout, I've just covered this, but we're not doing it for calorie burn because it's not accurate. Okay, so cardio tool, fat loss, check. Next one, protein rule. You may or may not have heard this before, but it's never a bad thing to hear golden nuggets over and over, okay? I've actually just filmed a reel on this. The rule of thumb when it comes to something being classified as high protein is per 100 calories, it's got 10 grams or more of protein. Okay, and I've got some facts and figures because, like I said, I've just done a reel on this that's going to help you put that into perspective, because so many people, even my clients who have worked with me for months, if I do a random check on their food, I'll see some things in there and I'll be like, that's not high protein. Why are you looking at that? Oh, it says it is on the packet. Well, you're cleverer than that, and we don't believe packaging because people lie. So, an example then of our high protein rule, which is 100 calories, 10 grams of protein. Anything less than 10 grams of protein by 100 calories, it's not high protein. Got it? Good. Right, wait, where's my little things? So, chicken. These are 3 high protein, and this is where we're going to understand why. Per 100 grams, it's got 165 calories and 30 grams of protein. So if we look at the 165 calories, for that to be classified as high protein, it should be 16 grams or more. And we know it's 30, so it's great protein in lean chicken, okay? The next thing is Greek yogurt. The Greek yogurt, 62 calories per 100 grams and 10 grams of protein. So we know if it's 62 calories, anything more than 6 grams of protein or higher, it's classed as high protein. Okay, you with me? I hope so. Next one, an egg. This is a good one because everyone always says eggs full of protein. Not full, okay? Not full of protein. 66 calories in an egg, or 60 calories in an egg, 6 grams of protein. So it's on the cusp. Yes, we're classing it as high protein, but it's on the cusp. And I think, again, that's another one where people think, I had 2 eggs for breakfast. It's only 12 grams of protein. You need to be getting some other stuff in there to hit that 25-30 grams of protein per meal that we're aiming for. Okay, so again, short one, golden nugget though. Protein rule, 100 calories. When you're looking at the packaging, look how many calories it's got. 260 calories. Well, we know for it to be classed as high protein, it should be 26 grams of protein. Let's do 3 things that we think are high protein that are not, okay? And the number one, if I said to you, name me something that's high protein that you put on bread or a cracker, I reckon you would say peanut butter, because loads of people would say it. When in fact, are we ready for this one? Per 100 grams, peanut butter, 650 calories. So in order for that to be high protein, it should be 65 grams of protein. It's not. It's 30 grams of protein. So if you've got chicken and peanut butter next to each other, you are going to have to eat double the amount of protein calories to just hit that protein quota the chicken's got. So double the volume, double the calories, okay? So peanut butter is fucking not high in protein. And I do not know how or why or where we've got this misconception that when we have a healthy snack and it's apples and peanut butter and we're calling it high protein. No. Okay, I've got a sentence I want to say, but I'll say it after. Next one then is, again, robbery in a black and white. Should be in a black and white box, okay? Because it's a fraud. High protein bloody granola. Per 100 grams, 450 calories. For it to be high protein, what should it be? 45 grams of protein. What is it? 27. It ain't high protein. And do not come at me, but it says high protein. I know what they fucking say. They're wrong and they're lying, okay? It's not high protein. And something to remember about marketing, girls, is that when things say high protein, low fat, low sugar, best thing ever, whatever they say on it, there will absolutely always be like an asterisk or small print that says than previous product, or than other make of this product. So for example, how I found this out, I don't know how I found this out, but basically it was on Walker's crisps and they put low fat, and they were saying that they weren't low fat, but what they've done has been really clever and put on the back of it, these crisps are lower fat than our previous version of these crisps. Sorry, what? So you're not low fat? No. We're low fat compared to the other one. So how does that help? That's like me having a big, massive, gigantic donut and then a medium one and putting low fat on it, even though we know it's not. It's just lower fat than the big, gigantic one. I know, how frustrating, how fuming are we? But this is why the rule of protein and the podcast that we listen to and the energy that the information we take on is really important, so we can beat the marketers and not get pulled in. Okay, the last one on the protein rule, girls, which honestly is so sad for me because it's one of my favourite, not necessarily favourite foods, but it's great comfort food, is beans. I love beans. They're not high protein, and I know what they say on the tin, and I'm so sorry, but they're not. So per 100 grams of beans, okay, you've got 85 calories. So what should the high protein be? Should be 8.5, shouldn't it? There's only 5. So again, not high protein. I'm sorry. Now, let's just cover what I'm not doing. I'm not demonising any of these foods, okay? I'm not saying you can't have peanut butter. I love peanut butter, love it, okay? Beans, I've just told you, I love beans, okay? High protein granola, nah, I think it's overpriced for what it is. Anyway, not demonising, I'm educating you that you are not putting your protein eggs in a basket and going, but I'm having my day consistent of peanut butter on toast, protein granola and yogurt, and then beans on toast. Everything's high protein, it's not, okay? So we need to look at, like I started with, the leaner proteins, the chicken, the yogurt, the cottage cheese, your whey protein shake, your clear whey, okay, your fish, your eggs, okay, and looking at them and thinking, per 100 calories, where are we at protein? It's a saviour. It's such a saviour when it comes to like doing your shopping and knowing is this high protein or not. All right, so we've got 2 more to go, and I've got like 7 minutes to do it. God, this is going to be a short podcast. Right, next one then. Carbs for fat loss. So this is something I said to one of my clients as well. I said to you, right, let's keep this simple, okay? You're in a deficit, okay? So we want you to be, we're not cutting carbs, but we want to be prioritising protein, fruit and veg over the carbs because we know that that's going to help us hit our protein quota, which is really important when we're in fat loss and can be difficult when we're on lower calories. So I said to her, when you are doing your carbs, when you're looking at your carbs, now I also want to probably just caveat in on this, is that when I'm not talking, some of us don't need to track macros, okay? We're not there yet, okay? So you don't need to track your carbs and your fats, okay? You just need to hit your protein and be in a calorie deficit, okay? If we are that little bit further, or we do always struggle with hitting our protein within our calories, this rule might help you, or this advice might help you. Fucking rule, who am I? Okay, so when you're looking at your carb sources in your meals, so like your oats, your toast, your bread, your pasta, your rice, okay, anything like that, keep it under 200 calories per meal, okay? That is going to be a decent amount of carbohydrate per meal that you feel like you're having some, but it's not going to be in the 300, 400, 500 range, which you're used to having. Trust me, I know, I've seen this hundreds of times over. It is so easy to eat that many calories and carbs. Bring it down to 200. So when you're planning out and you're doing your pasta, you don't have to look at how many grams of carbs you're having, but you're looking at the calories that are coming from that carb source. Okay, for example, pasta is probably the number one, where it's so easy to eat 300-400, and then you're like, but I'm going to go over my calories. Okay, so 200 calories per carb source or under is a great way. It is a great I won't say the word rule again. Great advice for managing protein and everything else and fat loss, okay? 200 calories per main meal. Okay, so that was a quick one. Nice. Last one then. Last piece of advice I gave to one of my clients this week was having... let me give you a bit of context. Oh, on the edge. So, a little bit of context with this client. Sweet tooth. Really bad sweet tooth. Really couldn't get over it. Was hitting a protein, was in the calories, but just had this absolute craving all of the time for sugar. So when we looked at the quality of food that she was having and the types of food she was having, she was actually having a lot of like sweetener and processed stuff, processed sugar, processed sweetener throughout the day. So for example, her breakfast, she was having golden syrup oats with a bit of golden syrup on and like a sweet tea, sugary tea. So although that she was hitting her protein quota because she was having a sweet breakfast, when we have things that are sweet, they send off a dopamine signal in our brain that goes, oh, this is lovely. Yes, please. More. Now, if we spark that off at 8 a.m., guess what's going to happen? We're going to be thinking about it, and by 10 a.m., what are we going to do? We're going to have a cereal bar, or maybe we'll even have a protein bar with the sweetness. Then lunchtime comes, we have our lunch, but we fancy something sweet because we're giving our brain that dopamine hit of sweetness, sweetness, sweetness. Okay, so I said to her I brought up a food diary and I said, look at what we're doing. Okay, we're starting our day with sugar, starting our day on this sugar roller coaster, this sweetness roller coaster. Okay, so even if we are, like I said, she was managing calories, but she was hitting a protein, but she was still struggling. I'm not just gonna chin her off and say, crack on, you're doing great. We want our relationship with food to be really good as well, and we want to understand why we're doing the things that we're doing and why the things that we're doing happen. So I explained to her, when we have sugar and sweet things, it does start off this sort of roller coaster of the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch your breakfast to a more savoury breakfast, okay? So if we can still have the oats, great, but if we can pull out the golden syrup, and just have like a less sweet flavour, or even completely changing your breakfast and having like some scrambled eggs with some salmon or something like that with spinach and mushrooms. So we're keeping that quantity of breakfast, so we'll keep hitting the protein, but we're not having anything sweet. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull your sweet stuff to later on at night. So when you're sitting down, because again, when we're having sweet stuff, we don't really enjoy a biscuit when we're in work. We normally grab it, eat it while we're doing an email, talking to someone, listening to someone boring. We're not really enjoying that whole moment, and then the biscuit's gone. Whereas when we have our sweet stuff of a night, we tend to be in our home environment, watching our telly, reading our book with our friends, with our family, and we can sit and we can enjoy it as a whole moment. So this is something that I do. So what I'm saying, would always save I'd always have chocolate every day because I love chocolate. I love chocolate. And you can absolutely have chocolate every day, okay? For me, Kit Kat, can't go wrong. And I know it's a biscuit. It's not really, is it? It's covered in chocolate. So I would always wait and have my chocolate at the end of the day when I was sitting down and I was chilling, watching Netflix. I'd have a cup of tea with a Kit Kat. I'd suck all the chocolate off, then I'd bite the top. I'd really milk it, really enjoy it, okay? And then, because after that, it'd be like an hour and then I'd be going to bed. I'm not starting off that sugar roller coaster of constantly being up and down and wanting more and not wanting more, So again, just if you are struggling at the moment with fat loss and you know that you're eating sweet stuff throughout the day, just try and have a little look at how you can switch things around. Can you have more filling meals? A great thing to do is look at your fibre content. So I've done a whole podcast on fibre, go and listen to it. But one of the key points of fibre does is help stabilise blood sugars because it fills us up so much. So looking at your fibre content, are you having enough fibre in the day that's going to help them blood sugar levels stay stable? Can you save your 200 calorie chocolate snack, sweet snack, till you're sitting down overnight? Then enjoy it, and then you won't be reaching for it throughout the whole day. I think there's a lot as well on social media now about having like these dessert breakfasts. And I do feel like if we've got a sweet tooth, I don't recommend that's the best way to start your day because I do feel like it's going to kick off this cycle. So trying to opt for like a savoury breakfast might be better. And then saving your sweet stuff till later in the day and enjoy it as a whole moment. There's nothing worse than looking at your MyFitnessPal going, fucking hell, I had a twirl at lunchtime. This is me today. Had a twirl at lunchtime. I didn't really enjoy it. I ate it really quickly and now I wish I had it now so I could enjoy it. Nothing worse. So don't be that person. Don't do it. Guys, mic drop. Short one. Soz. I'll make next week longer, I promise. But yeah, little insight into why it's so short. This week is full on. We had the event. We've launched the Fit in 6. I start pregnancy yoga. I'm going away to Nottingham on a business event. And if I didn't do it now, I wouldn't do it. So this is what you're getting. You get what you're given, okay? We've got 25 minutes. We've got 4 solid golden nuggets. We've had a little bit of a life update. I'll be back with more emisms next week, shall we? Yeah, I just thought of something really funny. I haven't got time to tell you. I'll quickly tell you. On the day of the podcast, I actually said these words. I said, over the past 5 years, I know that I've become more cleverer. Cleverer? Not even a word. Definitely not a word. And in that context, just absolutely fucking embarrassing, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'll blame the baby. Catch up with you later. Thanks so much for listening. I hope this helped. Please drop me a DM. With anything that I've touched on, any little questions, I love doing these podcasts where I just fly out these golden nuggets, hopefully. And so yeah, I'd love to hear on you. I hear off you on Instagram @_em.powered. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you next time. Love you, bye.